Hello everybody, welcome back to SK Gaming versus Greyhounds, and right now I'm completely astounded, Tim. It's 1-0 to Greyhounds. Who would have thought we would be at this point right now on day one of IEM Sydney with SK potentially being knocked out, having not won a map. If Greyhounds win this next map, that's going to be a reality. Insane.
Welcome to our hot new game show. Greyhound did what now?
I don't even know.
Oh, goodness
I
me.
have no idea.
That was a chaotic end to the map, but Greyhound did look better. Now, though, we all need to take a breather.
Yeah,
chill
we're
out. We're
down.
heading into SK's map pick of Cache. So, or Cache for those who don't like Australian accents.
I'm going to say Cache.
Yeah, I mean, I normally say Cache, and it's like everyone else says Cache, so I get to feel weird. But
I don't care.
I know. Either way, it is SK's map pick. So that was, as much as we got really excited about that, it was still a close map. It was 16-13. It was dangerously close to being 16-14.
Yep.
But Greyhound still came away with a win. Now, though, onto SK's map pick.
Exactly. And you might even say that Mirage is Greyhound's best map at the moment. So,
I mean, yeah, like, I know it's Australian stats, so it's not too relevant talking about
Yeah.
SK, but they were, before the start of IEM, like 22 wins, 2 losses.
well, they've got another one on the board now.
Yeah, so now they're
And on land.
23-3, including the loss to Cloud9. So that's, like, pretty ridiculous, even if it is against local competition.
Well, I mean,
it's
against
still,
the
like,
Asian
it's
teams as
APAC,
well.
yeah, exactly. It's
Yeah.
not just AUN or ANZ, it's like APAC. So it is a very, very good map for them. But now we move into Cache.
Realistically, look, I don't think Greyhound picks up Cache here. I think Overpass is actually more of a potential for them to pick up than Cache. Now, we have actually seen Greyhound playing Cache in the past, and recently, I think at the Pro League Finals, they did play it against the MVP. It ended up actually being an overtime victory for Greyhound, if I'm not mistaken. But regardless, it's not a map that they like to get onto too much. It's in their pool, but it's not. It's not a choice, if that makes sense.
They are 7 wins, 2 losses on it at the moment, but
Yeah.
again, it's domestic competition.
Yeah.
SK for their part, I've already forgotten the numbers I just read. I'm pretty sure it was 5-3. So,
But
either
against
way,
much stronger competition than what the
Exactly.
majority of Greyhound
And
is playing.
I still stand by what I said at the start of the series. I don't think we're going to see too much tactically from SK, partly because you don't want to give away all your tactics against what is a lesser opponent when you could be playing a Mouse Sports or a Fnatic or something, or an Astralis. You don't want to give away your strats when you have to use them against those guys. And I do think SK certainly looked sharp individually. Like, Stewie was missing a bit, Fallen certainly didn't do too much with the AWP at all, but Fur was definitely on fire. Cole had some good rounds. Bolts was having a good game.
The thing is, though, for SK, like, you can't be holding on to strategies anymore now. This is potentially your last map of the tournament. I mean, it feels really weird to say that, but that could very well be the reality of this. In an hour or so, maybe Greyhound has knocked SK Gaming out. I mean, Tai Lu and Greyhound. Imagine that. If Tai Lu and Greyhound are the two teams to knock SK Gaming out of IEM Sydney, what a tragic story that would be really for SK Gaming.
Absolutely. I mean, if we were going to expect anyone to knock SK out, I'm looking at an Astralis or a FaZe or a Mouse or a Fnatic or a top 5 of IEM Sydney.
Definitely.
I'm not looking at the local teams to do it. And of course, we've all been discussing amongst the talent amongst ourselves in the last couple of days, in rehearsals, in the lead up, and even today between games. We thought if there was a chance for Greyhound, maybe they could take C9. Then we obviously assumed that SK would beat Tai Lu, so maybe then Greyhound, Tai Lu, that could be a thing for them. But Greyhound SK, we not only didn't predict, but we didn't predict SK or Greyhound would even have a chance, but they've managed to take them out #1. So they're already exceeding expectations.
Yeah, definitely doing a good job right now up against SK. It's actually been a good day. I mean, right now it seems like it's a pretty good day actually for the Australian teams. Obviously, Legacy's already been knocked out. That was kind of the expected result. I mean, they came in as essentially a fill-in squad and they didn't even have their full core roster. A little bit unfortunate for them.
No time to prepare.
But when you look at the other match that's going on right now on the mainstream, it's something like 7-2 or 7-3 in the favor of Renegades on the final map of their matchup.
Over FaZe.
Over FaZe. So it's like, what a crazy scenario we're coming into in IEM Sydney. And this is what I was talking about earlier on in the mainstream, where it's such a good time to be watching Counter-Strike because you don't really know. You have these preconceived notions of what might happen, but it's not like it's set in stone. You know, this is not the Fnatic era. This is not the SK era. We're not seeing teams come into this tournament and expecting them, okay, this team is going to win.
Yeah.
You might say that for Astralis, but they've only won one tournament, and it was a good win, admittedly, but it's one tournament. It's not like they have this dynasty built up.
Yeah.
No team does.
And that's, I mean, to be fair, it's pretty much always good to watch Counter-Strike as long as it's competitive. Because if you have the error like we've had, of course, Fnatic is the most recent one. SK went for a bit there and then lost it and then went for a bit. FaZe should have had an error, but they haven't.
It was the error that never really happened.
Exactly. It was, they were all set to do it and then didn't. But that aside, like, even when you have that, I'm going to go back to 2015 Fnatic because that was my favorite one that I was actually actively watching.
Yeah,
you still think Fnatic were the bad guy at that point. Everyone's like, no, don't let Fnatic win.
Yeah.
And whenever any team got close, you're like, yeah,
Everyone
go
was
other
cheering,
team who isn't Fnatic. But even then, it's exciting because there's a storyline. There's a big bad boss. Now, there is no big bad boss. It's everyone. Like, you could say it's Astralis, but they don't really have the history behind them. So what we have is all of these teams who might win.
It
and
could
it's going to be competitive with all of them.
It could be Astralis after IEM Sydney. And after Dallas.
Yeah, well,
you know, like if they win these next 2 tournaments, that's when we're going to start talking about the Astralis era, but it's not here just yet. And for now, well, the SK era is definitely gone with the wind, and potentially so too could SK Gaming be here in IEM Sydney. Again, every single time I say it, I am just, it's unimaginable almost to me to be in a position like this where Grayhound Gaming could be knocking SK Gaming out of IEM Sydney on day 1. But here we are, moving on to Keish. It's game number 2, or map 2 of this game, and Greyhound's up 1-0. They had a pretty good performance there on Mirage. Let's see if they can back it up here on Keish on their CT side.
Grayhound will be looking to start this one off with a bang. Take the CT pistol, set the momentum from round number 1. It's Malta with a kit and a smoke, armor for the rest of them, and on the T side, it's 2 sets of utility onto Fallen and Cold Zera. No upgraded pistols. And it's going to be an A hit as well. So the utility most likely used to get them onto the bomb site, then save for post-plant. They've got flashes, they've got a smoke, they've got a molly. They've got everything they need, but they're also going to have to hit headshots. That said, though, Dexter is the only one here. It's a retake setup on A. Mid-control emphasized. 2 players boosted in vent for Grayhound. They know it's not going to be B, but will they rotate fast enough?
Yeah, it looks like a bit of a read for me from Grayhound, but hasn't worked out in their favor as the A site is where the hit is going to come in for SK. They will get the bomb down quite easily. Dexter hasn't taken too much damage there, but he hasn't done any either, and it's really going to just be the 5-on-5 retake. It's not going to be easy here for Grayhound. They have a decoy, which is irrelevant really, and a smoke grenade to work with. And so smoking off A main, it's a good start here for Grayhound. Dick Stacey does get fallen. Bolt's just completely missing everything, and Dick Stacey, he comes in, just absolutely smashes a couple of kills away, and Grayhound, they're coming away with a knife kill coming in here for Malta, even though, what are you doing, Malta? I have no idea what I've just witnessed. The defuse is now on, and Grayhound, they come away with another pistol round. What am I watching, Tim? He had 4 shots left in the USP, decides to pull out the knife.
Okay, and then gets one right-click stab in, then goes, wait, no, this isn't working, I need to pistol him. I mean, maybe it's like 400 IQ that by stabbing him, he baits bolts to pull out his own knife and then goes, haha, bullets.
Maybe, Tim. Okay. I'm not so sure. But this is a timeout straight away from Grayhound.
Let's take a second. That round, I think they're going to be equally as flabbergasted as we are that they managed to win that. So let's us take a second, let them take a second to just breathe.
That's what
chill out.
Grayhound is probably doing now.
That's what I'm saying they're doing, because like they're going to be as surprised as us that worked.
An astonishing round, really. And for Malta to pull out his knife like that, I mean, that's very uncharacteristic. You're not expecting to see that at all. So I'm not sure what the thought process was there for him, but I think this is just a sort of a chill-out tactical pause, really, for Grayhound. They
100%
don't want to get it too far ahead of themselves right now, because that was a very weird round.
That was nutty. Like, at this point, you just need to think, okay, let's breathe. It's going to be all right. Interestingly enough, the coach standing behind Grayhound as well is Lacour's brother.
Yeah,
Lacour, if you're wondering where you heard that name, he subbed for Legacy earlier, and while he's still eliminated, his family is continuing. I spoke to members of Grayhound about him. Apparently, they really like him as a coach, so
I guess
he's not someone who'd been coaching locally before, but he is now. Either way, hit coming into the A-bomb site very quickly for SK, just the CZs and the MAC-10s, but they've found the opening frag. Yeah, it's a good incendiary out there from Dexter. Despite the fact that Gratisfaction goes down, it does allow bolts to be an easy trade out for Dexter, the damage done from running through that incendiary. Now, Grayhound, though, have been tasked with another retake on the A-bomb site. This one looks a little bit more favorable for them, and with that spray from Malta, Fallen will drop. Oh, geez, Manise. Dick Stacey needs to be a little bit careful getting in the way of Malta there, but... I've already had like 2 team kills this series.
Yeah, but for SK Gaming, 2 players here, and Cold Zera, one of them, spoke about how he needs to step up here for SK Gaming. There's not a lot of time for Grayhound, so they need to get rid of Cold very, very quickly. He's got 2 with the CZ, will be taken down by Dick Stacey, but someone needs to get on the bomb here for Grayhound, and
needs to be Dick Stacey.
With the kit, it is going to be Dick Stacey now. It's just up to Dexter to cover off, and he will be able to get Fur. But that was maybe a little bit more close than Grayhound might have liked.
But they're up 2-0 on map number 2. So Grayhound now, they should just be facing down
Well, it's been
here,
two bomb plants for SK. So
it has, but they fully invested in the last round.
Yeah,
They bought
exactly.
CZ's armor and even a MAC-10 out there as well. So there'll be no early AKs for them. But the idea of that last buy, given the fact how much they invest into it, they had some util as well, is to try and steal the momentum early. Because most teams you'd expect, okay, they planted, they're going to save and try and get AKs out third to have a really good chance at us. But SK say, no, we're going to try and reset the momentum early, which unfortunately for them doesn't work. So now they have to take the eco here instead. But I like the idea. They're trying to unsettle Grayhound if they can. But for me, I think if Grayhound can win like 2 or 3 more rounds here, I think that's when they'll really start to believe.
Oh, well, if they're up 4-0 and they start believing, I think that might be a little bit too early.
Well, the point is if they win a gun round, it's a bit of a confidence booster.
It definitely would be, and that would be a great start to the half for Grayhound. They'd get the money rolling, one would assume. But even still, 4-0 on the board would be really nice for them. But yeah, there's still work to be done. Again, it's going to be the same scenario as Mirage. You're never going to count SK Gaming out until that 16th round does come up for Grayhound here. If
or the 19th or 22nd.
Yes, that's true. 1-for-1 trade there for Grayhound. Dick Stacey's gone down. And that's going to cause a little bit of a rotate there from Malta to go into mid. Looks like SK Gaming again might be busting out onto the A site.
They're going to let Cole make some space in mid for them first, though. He wants to be the highway flank. To do that, though, he's going to have to try and find the timing past Malta. He's waiting inside Zay.
Main push.
No, not quite.
Yeah, well, he kind of got kept at bay by the player in Squeaky there. Already damage being done, but Coldzera is lurking up through short. Not sure that he's going to be able to find anything just yet, but SK Gaming, they are doing a good job of keeping Grayhound stuck in their positions. You can see Gratisfaction is getting a little bit angsty, decides to try and push in there and gives away a kill to Coldzera. Dexter goes down as well. Now it's a 1 versus 1 for Urcast, and SK Gaming have definitely done some work here with just the pistols. Urcast very close, could have potentially gotten the kill there onto Bolts or Urcast. He will get the kill in the end, but it's not a great round there for Grayhound.
No,
they've lost a lot of guns.
Exactly.
They let the bomb go down.
Yeah, a little bit too much positioning in mid. They allow Cole to get up. Sets himself 2 kills in the end. At least it's clutched out, but this from SK, they haven't won a round yet, even though they full invested in the second round. But that round was mostly just pistols, and they've kept Greyhound's money very honest.
Exactly, and this is very similar to what we saw on Mirage in the first half. SK Gaming, while they weren't winning rounds early on, they were doing a lot of damage to the economy of Grayhound, and we're seeing that once more. The money for Grayhound here, not good. So this is SK Gaming's chance back into the half.
That said, the money on Grayhound is good enough that they've managed to get full rifles and the AWP out on Gratisfaction. 3 kits, so they won't be a concern in clutch situations. They'll be able to pick them up. And for SK, their money's not too great either. A bit limited on the utility front. They've got Fallen with not much at all that he's gone for the AWP. They've used a bit early on. They are setting up in a default here, looking for some damage. Bolts has found his way all the way into Sunroom on B, so if they try and push in, that could be an issue. But for now, it is presence towards A from SK. And Grayhound, once again, only have Gratisfaction here. They're focusing on a mid-heavy setup. They'll have to rotate Grat back. Well, they'll have to rotate someone else to help Grat, I should say, if this hit comes in. But SK, once again, slowing the round down, falling back out of A main. Really not much that they've accomplished just yet.
Yeah, SK looking to potentially get some control into mid here. Incendiary will come across from Grayhound, buy more time.
There's a very heavy mid presence from Grayhound as well.
Yeah, exactly, that's the problem here for SK. There's 3 players really set up from Grayhound in mid. Dick Stacey, Urcast with the crossfire. And then whoever it is by Sandbags, Dexter. SK Gaming, though, they're going to slowly make their way towards the A bomb site once more. Gratisfaction, he takes the timing shot, and Fallen once again will go down. He's got another angle. Stewie 2K takes a big chunk of damage. No kill there for Grat. But damage is good enough at this stage for Grayhound. He'll get the job done eventually. 4 versus 3 as the trade comes out from SK Gaming, and the bomb does go down, but Grayhound once again are tasked with a retake on A. This time, SK Gaming is waiting for them with weapons available. Fur trying to cross back to safety. Will be tagged down.
This all comes down to Urcast here pushing into A main. If he gets in here without being picked, that's actually going to open it up. Urcast makes it happen.
Yeah, Bolts has gone down, and Gratisfaction up onto the catwalk will drop now. It is just Urcast in A main. This might be a little bit too much for him as SK are giving ground, backing away, but there's no time for Urcast to play with here. Eventually he pushes forward, but Coldzera is there and waiting. The first gun round goes the way of SK.
That's a big win for them coming into this map. Get some confidence rolling in their favor. Bit unfortunate for Grayhound that one doesn't come through, but they're going to need to change up their setup now because SK have identified that they only sit one player on A and it's a mid-heavy setup. Of course, that could get changed for Grayhound, but they've done it twice. So we'll see how they choose to adapt things. This round, of course, won't give us any indication of what they're going to do in the next round, as with the pistols, you tend to do whatever the hell YOLO strats you think are going to work, and then pull out your actual hold next time. There is a push coming into B, but it looks like Bolts is ready for it.
Yeah, he spotted out Malta there, so Malta shouldn't really be able to get too much done. Dexter out on the A bomb side. It's going to be all down to Gratisfaction, and he too is going to be dropped. It's the same scenario as Mirage. Again, when Greyhound's on the E coast, they don't get anything done. When SK is on the E coast, they do get a bit of work done. But Greyhound, they need to find their way back into here. They need to get their footing again.
This is double eco territory for them as well.
It is. But three apiece. Not too bad of a start, really, for Greyhound, all things considered.
And really, Greyhound, what they need to consider is just what they're going to do with that next gun round, because leaving Grat towards A is fabulous for opening the round. I mean, as you saw in that gun round they lost, he found 2 picks, but even then, it was 2 initial picks as they went into the bomb site. It wasn't anything in post-plan. It wasn't stopping the bomb plan. So, like, I'm not trying to say they weren't important kills, but they didn't do anything to help his team on the retake once SK had taken the bomb site. Of course, they made it a bit easier, but then when the smokes went down, all of Greyhound were locked out. So next gun round, hopefully someone will be over with Grat to help him out. It'll have some more util. Speaking of utility, the supporting flashed into mid, and Cold is farming.
Oh, well, indeed he is. Malta will put the stop to his fun, but the fun has been had, and it's probably more than enough. I shouldn't say probably. It is more than enough for SK to close this round out. Now Gratisfaction cannot get any more done. Would have been nice for Greyhound maybe to get another gun out of the hands there of SK, but in the end, the money was really, really good for SK anyway coming into this round. But we'll see the double AWP picked up straight away by Greyhound. It worked fantastically on Mirage.
One thing that allows them to do is they can have an AWP in mid. So in the previous rifle round, they played 3 players in mid to hold on to it. Now they can play 2, have Malta there with an AWP locking it down, a rifler to support him, and that frees up a rifler to play on A with Gratisfaction. So hopefully that's the adjustment that they're making. In fact, they're going to put Grat on mid as the more professional... No, he's going B. So they are playing an AWP on A, 1 rifler in mid. They've changed up their setup entirely, and I really like this. Grat just needs to win a duel against Fallen.
Oh, not this time. He did earlier on, but just walking right into the line that Fallen was watching. Hasn't worked out for him, and now it's all onto Urcast. Has he spotted out Cold Zero on the cross? I think that he has, with the double peek. Not even necessary for SK as Cold Zero dispatches easily of Urcast. Now the next player to stand up, it's going to be Dick Stacey. And he will be traded out through the smoke there by the AWP of Fallen. B-side is well and truly under control of SK Gaming. Now for Greyhound, they need to save these guns. The buy is not going to be there next round. And trying to retake the site 4 versus 2, I'm not so sure I'd be confident of their chances. Malta's gotten a kill there on Defer, which is nice. Might make it easier to save the AWP and the rifle, but that's what Greyhound desperately need to do.
Make a big difference for them if they do lose these guns. I mean, next round, no one's really got any money. They've lost, what, 3 rounds straight now, so they're getting a decent amount of money in for round loss bonus, but they still don't want to lose these. Very important they hold on to those, because that's the difference between potentially pulling up some weaker guns around them or just having to eco again. So it looks like they will be holding on to the M4 and the AWP, but unfortunately for them, once again, that round comes down to Grat. And this time he couldn't win the duel, leaves Urcast on his own, and it's so tough. In like essentially a 1v3, 1v4 on the B-bomb side at that point. It's very hard to get anything done. Dick Stacey was 1 and done on the retake. Not a whole lot you can do there. And SK, they make a good call. They send Fallen in looking for the early damage, and that's something that we used to see for SK going back a few months. It was always Fallen opening up bomb sites with the AWP. It was Cold with the rifle. And if they can get back into that sort of form, they might be in good stead. But for now, Greyhound will indeed just be saving on the players that don't have guns. They've got 5 smoke grenades.
Yeah, it's a bit of a weird purchase there for Greyhound. I'm not sure exactly what they are intending with these smokes, but this one out from Urcast might give SK pause for thought and potentially allow Urcast a little bit of information. But oh, he's going to be overwhelmed. There's so many SK players there. Gratisfaction has managed to get 1, which gives an opening to Urcast, but he's not able to take advantage of it. Straight into Tree Room goes Fur. Dexter is dropped. No trade there from Dick Stacey either. It's just Malta left alive, and he's on his own up in the A-bomb site. 1 versus 4. Best scenario for Malta now is saving the AWP.
That's going to be difficult as they are pushing him, but He picks up Fur and will now be able to fall off, get into Squeaky, hopefully, and go save, but they are pushing him quite fast. He's picked the correct angle here.
Made a bit of noise there, though, so I wonder if Fallen would have heard him going into A main and called it off to his teammates. Looks like that's the direction that Bolts is having a look in.
Should be hearing Fallen here, though.
Yeah, I'm sure that he has.
Oh, boy. God, that's smart movement, though.
In the end, Coldzera gets in there just a little bit too quick for Malta to get rid of Fallen. It's 5 now up for SK Gaming. It's been a quick 5, isn't it?
It's also 5 minutes on the clock, or 25, but you know, I was pointing at the 5.
5 minutes, Tim.
It was almost thematically appropriate.
Well, it was a good try. I'll give you that.
Thanks, man. But speaking of Grayhound, they're not done trying, or trying. I mean, Grayhound aren't done trying just yet. They're going to go back onto the double AWP, so they do fully invest here, but at least they can rebuy what was lost. And for SK, now sitting on 5 rounds straight. We're looking to continue the damage here, but Malta's going to be going for the pick this time into B, and Dick Stacy. They don't actually know that he's this close with Grat getting that kill.
That's a really good kill out from Gratisfaction as well. Now what can Dick Stacy do with this, pushing through the smoke? He's caught Coldzera off guard. Like you say, Tim, that's the bomb spotted out for Grayhound and Dick Stacy. He will be dropped by Fur, but it's a 2 versus 4 already that SK have to negotiate. And Grayhound, this is that characteristic CT aggression that we saw out from them on Mirage. It worked fantastically up against SK Gaming. And if Grayhound can make it work here on Cage as well. Pause for a moment. That was a shot.
Rest in peace to Fur's head.
But yeah, if Grayhound can make that work here on Cage as well, SK Gaming might have a little bit of thinking to do. It is just 1 round though, so no need to get ahead of ourselves. It's a good round out from Grat though. 3 kills.
Fair, that mid-aggression, I don't think would have worked if Dick Stacy... Well, I mean, he wouldn't have been able to go for it if he'd got that frag. The fact that Grat gets that frag while Dick's in the smoke means that, I think it was Cold who died in mid first.
Stewie.
Stewie doesn't know that Dick's there, which opens up the space for him, to push in then kill Cold with the bomb. However, if he'd had to get that kill, they'd still be in a 4v5 at that point, but there's no way he can afford to push into mid, because when he did, Cold had a grenade out, trying to flash or smoke, make some space for himself, didn't know there was a player close. If they did, the round could have potentially been entirely different. But I'm overanalyzing what is essentially a small passage of play. It still works out for them. And from then rolling the trades, another big round out of Gratisfaction. We need more of those.
Stealth Tick is my favorite. Getting in through the smoke there, making work happen. This is a tactical pause out for SK, so they're not huge fans of that last round.
I mean, I wouldn't be either, to be honest. You're like, oh, 1 kill, 1 ult me mid. Oh, 1 push me mid. You what now?
Yeah. But Grayhound, they're not out of the woods just yet. If they lose this one, it's going to be SK just completely steamrolling this first half.
Double AWP still out for SK, for Grayhound though, and that's been doing good work for them. Gratisfaction once again posted up. That smoke gives him a big gap to look through. And Dexter's changed up his positioning to be on top of red, so the A hold has shifted. Mid's changed as well. It's just Dick Stacy holding white box this time. But you can already see off the last round, they get the AWP pick and the rifle kill.
What on earth?
Jesus Christ, the timing. The SK don't even want to touch mid because they got destroyed last round, and now Dexter's just like, hey, I know more than you, and I know exactly where you are. I think there might have been a few bullets through the door from Stewie that gave him away. I'm not sure, but...
I'd have to go back and look at the replay. It could have just been a timing thing out for Dexter as well.
It could be that. It's very common that you might know the timing for someone walk pushing that, because you know that for them to not be heard, they have to start walking from like back of A main. So if you know the timing of that with the run for there and the walk, then maybe. But that's still a nutty first pick for Dexter to open it up. And now Grat on deck, waiting for the peak.
SK Gaming, they've tried to assault the A bomb site quite a few times, and they've actually succeeded the majority as well. This time though, Grayhound are very ready for the push, and it looks like we're going to be seeing a player flashed in from main for SK Gaming. Dexter up on the red plate playing anti-flash, and somehow he gets another kill through the smoke. What on earth is going on in this round, Tim? I am losing my mind. And SK Gaming probably are as well. 3 versus 5. They have to go now. They've got 25 seconds. Gratisfaction has not been spotted. An easy kill for him there. And there's just the 2 players now for SK Gaming. Fallen alone with an AWP up on the red crate saying, please shoot me. He's like a lighthouse right now. And Grayhound oblige. 5 up for Grayhound. The money is still there for SK Gaming to afford to buy through. But Dexter, what are you on, man?
Grayhound is putting on a goddamn fireworks display. The rounds that they're winning are just so chaotic. Like the last round, double pick in mid, pushing, dropping the bomb. That round, Dexter finds 2 players that he can't even see. I mean, for Fur, maybe you saw his name pop up through the smoke because Fur had been standing there playing anti-flash like in the middle of a smoke for like 10 seconds. But the door frag, I don't even. But Grayhound, again, they're changing up their setup. This time it's 2 players towards mid. Gratisfaction solo on A playing Forklift. That's dangerous with an AWP, but Grayhound are constantly adapting, refusing to give SK something solid to read.
That's exactly
what
they
don't want to be
do.
counter-stratted. Exactly. Like, the last thing you want is to give SK something to read and give them something to say, okay, they're doing this, we can do that. By constantly changing their setup, they're constantly giving SK questions to ask.
No smoke for the cross there for Grayhound, or for SK Gaming. Will allow Gratisfaction to get the first pick, but he's very, very quickly traded out. And SK Gaming, this time they've busted out into the A-bomb side a little bit more successfully. This is looking a little bit more precarious for Grayhound, particularly considering coldzera coming in through mid.
It's going to be such a late flank,
as well. It's coming down to Malta watching that angle if he can find the frag, if coldzera chooses the incorrect timing. But Grayhound, they have to focus in on trying to get this retake working, and they don't have a huge amount of time to work with. The bomb's already halfway done. Grayhound need to get a bit of a wriggle on here, and into the site they do go, but Dick Stacey still, I mean, someone's going to have to jump on this bomb pretty much straight away, and Stewie getting that frag will be forced out by the incendiary. Gets another one before being taken down, and now it's just Dexter. Nothing he can do there. Grayhound, they've taken too much time getting in the side, and the positioning of SK Gaming was far too good. I think the thing here, Tim, for Grayhound is that if they allow SK Gaming into that A-bomb site, they're not able to retake it successfully. We've seen that quite a few times now.
Well, that's mainly because the rounds that they've lost the A-bomb site, it's just been Grat soloing. And while he's doing very well going 1-for-1 there, if they want to actually hold the bomb site and not have to play retake, then they need to play another player there.
Another purchase here from Grayhound as well.
Double warp and pistols?
Glass cannon for Gratisfaction as well. They're banking a lot on this round. If they lose this, it can really put their economy into disarray heading into the late stages of this half.
This is spooky town. Scary, scary round for Grayhound now.
A lot of aggression there from Gratisfaction as well.
He has cleared out B main pretty much entirely. He knows they're not there. There was early spam coming through, but he's managed to mitigate that, and now Urcast needs to hit this from boost, needs to find these frags, preferably both of them.
Well, he'll get one, but he doesn't know that there's a second player up there. He still manages to get the frag. Somehow coldzera gets flashed, and Dexter pushing into main, gets a kill onto another player. That was the bomb drop too. It's 3 versus 2, and Grayhound, they're finding another one of these rounds where they just managed to pull it from where the sun don't shine.
All right, the trades come in. They make it sane again. And the B-bomb site is for now open.
It's the 2 AWPs still alive for Grayhound.
It is, and it's Grat here as well. They have no smoke to get him rid of him. They've got no utility at all. It's going to have to be a dry face. As long as Grat stays on this angle, surely he gets one.
Well, he's still working his way into that bomb site, but SK Gaming, they will, like you said, just have to walk their way in, and Malta's already started to rotate his way into mid. Gratisfaction will get the first. It's a trade. A great shot from Stewie, I might add. He'll be able to get the bomb down, but now it all rests on the shoulders of Malta, the new player for this Grayhound roster, and he has been stellar for these guys, but now tasked with a very tough retake here. Stewie will take the peek. Malta misses the shot, and that gives Stewie a little bit more room to breathe. He's taken a lot of damage now, Malta, but he just has to continue on forward. They need to try and make this retake work, but Malta, everything is working against him, and in the end, Stewie will close it out. It was almost impossible, really, for Malta to come away with a win there, but that's a big round for SK. It completely screws the economy of Grayhound.
Does indeed. The economy of SK, though, is not great either, so if Grayhound can win this one back, or the next, no, it has to be this one, really. If they can get a win here somehow, or at least do the damage, they're going to keep it low. They're going to keep the money low, going to keep SK honest. So this is by no means done for Grayhound yet. And these, I really want to see someone after this series needs someone to make a little montage of like the rounds that SK won, and then directly contrast them to the rounds that Grayhound won, because SK, they're winning, sure, when they're the 1v1s, it's being played well. The 2v2s, they're getting the trades and going back and just playing the trade game, winning it outright. When Grayhound's winning rounds, it's people jumping through smoke, spamming players they can't see, knifing people, and it's just ridiculous.
Maybe that's the recipe for success, though, for Grayhound. They just need to be as obnoxious as possible. You know, if you go up against SK Gaming, are you thinking, we're going to win this by playing default, by playing standard?
No, you can't beat SK at their own game. You've got to be like, let's do the weird stuff.
Yep. Grayhound is doing that, but they're not winning this map. 5 and 7, and onto a pistol armor buy. They'll have an eco after this as well. It's not looking so great for Grayhound. Admittedly, it felt like they had a better first half on Mirage than they are having now on Keish. And while that second half was excellent for Grayhound and Mirage, you can't necessarily count the same to be happening here on Keish. It's not an unfamiliar map for them, but it's not Mirage.
Malta can't peek here as Fallen is ready for him to do so. But at least they'll be ready if SK decides to boost. It is going to be the push into A though, and Dexter's the only one here. Very, very low on HP. As soon as he spots out these players, they should then send Malta over the boost to flank. But if Bolts hangs around here, then that's not going to work at all. And in the meantime, Cold's over on B, just making sure that nobody's flanking. So this is dangerous, but Malta's found the timing. I think he's over just at the right spot.
Still dangerous here, though, for Grayhound. Malta will get dropped by Fallen. Could have been something there for Grayhound, but now that potential is maybe lost. Hercast is able to get one. If he would have landed that first spray, who knows what could have happened. Dick Stacey still quite far forward here in Warehouse, but the timing on the flashbang might be very good. Fallen so quick to avoid it. And in the end, Dick Stacey, he's going to have a very tough ask ahead of him now as there's multiple players. Fallen will drop, but so too will Dick Stacey. And now just Dexter, 1 versus 2. He's got an AWP.
Save the AWP.
Well, yeah, Grayhound can't get a buy through next round, so the AWP could be useful. Or he could back himself to close this round out.
There's actually a potential if they plant open that he could shut the plant down. There's only 10 seconds left. If he can drop the planter and then hide, he might just do okay.
Not quite. They plant safe. They might have heard the scope. Definitely heard the shot. So Dexter now, he has no choice but to save.
They would have reasoned that it's very likely that he will be there, given that all of his teammates died in that area. They're all obviously hanging around that way. They know he was on A as well, so stands to reason that his play there would be to go through, pick up a gun and try and get a kill with it, or, as the case is now, save it. But SK, they're going to win the half with this round. Come away 8-5. First just hanging around to make sure that no one's trying any sneaky defuse business, but he won't hear anything, so he'll be free to back on out. Dexter will hold on to the AWP. Potential for him to drop that over to Grat and let Grat try and make a play.
Yeah.
But instead he's going to drop the CZ, hold on to it for himself. He's got the armor.
He's got the armor, yeah. Now Dexter has AWP'd. Not recently, but when he used to play on Winter Fox, he was the primary AWPer for a time. And before that, playing on Chiefs, he did pick up the AWP every now and then as well. That said, I mean, of the players on this roster, I would probably sooner put the AWP in the hands of Malta, and definitely sooner put it in the hands of Gratisfaction than I would in Urcast, than in Dexter. But it's not to say that Dexter can't get things done with this AWP. So we'll see what he's doing. He's playing in mid, quite forward as well, quite aggressively, and I guess that's what you have to do. But it's not going to work.
Fallen's going to take the kill there, and they know Urcast is here as well. They've heard the grenade hitting him. Does make a noise, so they're going to stack 3 grenades in towards his position, and while they won't drop him, they have the info. In the meantime, can't even go and get that AWP out of mid just yet. They are pushing 3 players in, so they should be able to grab that from where Dexter died, I believe. There it is, Malta's got it, but the hit will still be towards B.
Ooh.
What? Okay.
Well, Grayhound have managed to retrieve the AWP, which is a bit of a bonus heading into the next round. That will be Greyhound's buy. Best case scenario for them at the end of the first half here will be 9-6, which is what they got off the first half of Mirage, but they were on the T side there. They moved on to CT and had a really good CT side.
That said, they've all backed out at this point. They're just helping to save the AWP. Dick Stacey's going to try and do some damage, but the spam will not connect through the smoke. And he's just a distraction here either way. The rest of Grayhound making sure that the AWP doesn't go down. As now, they do need it. They will intend to buy...
Oh, hello.
All right. They will intend to buy next round with the money that they'll have here. So the more damage that Dick Stacey can do, the better. And he might actually just find some more here. But how long can he really survive just spamming through smokes?
He's almost going to run out of ammo right now. He's got, what, 8 bullets left in the Deagle, 5 in the clip.
That's why he stopped spamming.
SK were kind of playing with fire there, just taking the peeks through the smoke. Not that it really matters. They'll be able to buy next round anyway, but it was just a bit comical. In the end, though, Grayhound will be able to save the AWP through. Now, will that allow them the double AWP?
That's really smart from Cold Zero. He shoots the gun back into headshot, so that when the bomb explodes, it doesn't blow it out into CT or out into tree room, it blows it into the wall. That stops the gun from being retrieved. I mean, Dick Stacey wasn't there for it anyway, but Cold Zero thinking on his feet.
Yep, smart move. Double AWP is affordable here. But Grayhound have decided to go just the single. So Malta's going to be running away with the M4. It's full AKs out for SK as well. So last round of the half, Grayhound, I would say they need this one.
Oh,
they
absolutely.
need to get to 6. And even then the second half is going to be really tough.
Well, if they can take the pistol,
yeah,
might be okay, but that's a good grenade into mid to start us off. Malta with the M4 does make it work, goes into B main and finds the opener onto cold. Now Grayhound can go back and chill out, and this is what won them a bunch of CT rounds on Mirage. Getting the first pick, then pulling back, playing their crossfires. They really don't need to be peeking into mid here. Dick Stacey will be falling back now as Fer gives himself away. Grayhound just need to chill.
Oh, look at this, Grayhound. They still seem like they want to try and get control of mid, and Fallen is going to punish them for it. Gratisfaction has been dropped. Dick Stacey also, Small's done a good job, but now Dexter is getting involved. It's a 3 versus 3, so not all bad for Grayhound. Dexter drops the bomb.
How does that fall up highway?
Where's the rest of SK?
Want to name aim, but they're going to try and retake this bomb. Bolts.
Look at this.
It's a crucial shot.
Malta wrapping around the back. If he gets that timing, and he will, Bolts is going to be dropped there now, and Urcast and Malta can play a little bit of a crossfire. It's tough now for Stewie to get that bomb and get into the A bomb site. But Urcast is going to back off, deciding not to give the opportunity there over to Stewie. Needs to be aware, though, of pushing to Z connector. Malta, this is his time to shine now.
Stewie's actually playing this incredibly smart. He's looking for the fight.
Urcast not quite going to peek out in time, doesn't hit the headshot. So Stewie will escape into the B bomb site just in time with 20 seconds on the clock. Bomb will go down, and again, a 1 versus 1 clutch. Once more, it's Stewie. And he has everything in his favor. He's got time to work with to get into a plant position. Urcast will have to find him.
No util. Surely Urcast won't check this.
But it is a one-shot headshot for Urcast if he gets this one onto Stewie. But it is not a line that you're necessarily likely to check. Urcast, though, looks like he will, but Stewie hits the shot, and that's going to be 10-5 at the end of the first half. SK doing a pretty good job there. We'll see how they go in the second half after the break. Hello everyone, it is time once again to get back underway with another map, SK Gaming and Grayhound. First half is done and dusted, and SK Gaming, well, they're up 10-5. They're fighting hard to stay alive here in IEM Sydney. They're down 1-0 as far as maps are concerned, but map 2 looks like it is headed in their direction.
In fairness though, 2 of the rounds that SK won there towards the latter stage of that half were both Stewie clutches, 1v2s.
Yes.
So very well played by him to make that possible, but it's not like we can discredit the round just because they were clutches. At the end of the day, if it's on the board, it's on the board, and that's what matters.
Yep.
The newest pickup doing some work for this SK Gaming lineup. So as you say, 10-5 moving into their CT side. A vital pistol round for Grayhound here, and they're going to come at it with 2 sets of utility on the B side. On the T side, looks like it's going to be a B play.
It's a pretty critical pistol round out here for Grayhound. They don't want to be going down 13-5, so, I mean, worst case scenario for Grayhound here is that they at least want to be able to get that bomb down to ensure that they can get an earlier buy through here in the second half. But if they allow SK Gaming to get off onto a good start here on the CT side, you can pretty much wrap this second map up and start thinking about overpass if you're Grayhound. Into the B-bomb site they do go though, and coldzera is waiting for them. The flashbangs completely ruining Dick Stacey there, and coldzera is just hitting his shots. We'll get the reload off, in fact, as he is saved by Stewie 2K. Grayhound have not gotten anything done on that pistol round, and SK Gaming there coming back with a vengeance.
It was an excellent pistol round from SK. Grayhound, they had the utility ready to go. They flashed themselves into B main, take the initial pick. They go over, or get the flashbangs and grenades over into the B bomb site, but Cold holding strong on the bomb site buys enough time for Stewie to come in and save him. And for Grayhound, really, they just got out-aimed a little bit there. They had the right idea, I think, in terms of using the utility to try and get some advantageous fights, but SK looking too strong at the moment, really waking up in the latter stages of this map.
Forced buy-in, though, from Grayhound. They do not want to let SK Gaming get a hold of this second half, so they've decided to do what SK Gaming did to them, but they're hoping to actually win this round.
That, of course, would be ideal. They do have a bit of util to work with as well. Dexter and Urcast, well, and Grat with some grenades on board. They're going to use them to take mid, probably flood through, yeah, so it's a B split through the vents. And there's 3 players in mid here for SK. This could work out, especially with Stewie taking so many bullets to get that kill. Now it's all onto the side player of Cold.
Yeah, first been dropped as well, so that might hurt the retake. Fallen coming quickly in through the vent, though, and Malta runs out of ammo. Would have probably been able to trade that kill out had he not, but in the end, it was Stewie's missed spray that actually was the undoing there for Grayhound.
And Malta had that situation wrapped up if he could have had 2 more bullets in that M4, but unfortunately not. Now Grat really wants a gun, and he has managed to find an MP9, but their time to go B was about, or to go A, was about 10 seconds ago when all of SK were stacked. Grat has such a good read on first position.
Oh, well, maybe not quite good enough. coldzera is the one to get the kill in the end. Dexter goes down to first, so it looked potential for a moment there for Grayhound, but they haven't done enough again. Up to 12-5 now is SK Gaming, and it'll be an eco out here for Grayhound. Once SK's up to 13, you feel like that's a bit too much now for Grayhound to come back here into map 2.
But it's not over yet. 12-5. Last map they came back from 12-6 down, so there's a possibility, but it should be 13-5 here with just the Glocks. SK looking good to take their own map pick, and for Grayhound, only a few rounds away from just starting to think about overpass. In reality.
Absolutely. Fallen just going to be running away with the P250 here. Not deciding to invest in any other gun, so he's looking for that AWP next round. It's a nice shot off onto Dexter early on in the piece. Grayhound, they will get mid control established, but not for very long, as there is going to be the retake attempt into mid from SK, and it works out quite nicely indeed. Grayhound, they'll have a buy through here now, and well, it's do or die now here on map 2 for Grayhound. If they don't win this round, it's done.
Yep, this is it. They've pretty much put all of their money, well, they have put all of their cash into this round. 3 players and $0. This is everything for them. So, they've got sufficient nades. Still sort of an execute they want to hit us with. There is full utility on the side of SK as well, though. So we'll see where Grayhound decides to go with this one. Looks like it's towards A. Early nades into mid to deny that presence, but Fallen's already through it and past it. And they're going for the fast boost play into middle.
Fallen there, waiting on the white box. But no real contest just yet from Grayhound. They've established a player in mid and up on the boost, but they've decided no further is where they want to go. Just waiting to see maybe if SK is going to do anything. Great shot from Malta and a miss from Fallen. Results in a dead Fallen. This means that the A side is now looking a little bit precarious for Grayhound, or rather for SK, because Grayhound have control of mid, unbeknownst to them at this point. But an A split, maybe a perfect push here for Grayhound into A side.
Would indeed. The bolts up on Shroud Boost. Potential to shut this one down entirely if they don't check it, or if they don't check it adequately. Here come the grenades, but Urcast is far too aware. That leaves it all up to the retake at this point for SK, and they're already being shut out. Malta with a great timing into mid.
Yeah, that was the backstab that Grayhound was looking for once they took control of mid. It was either going to come up through short or through the Z connector, but Malta gets work done. And for SK Gaming, they will be left wanting in this round. They need to wait a little bit now, as the next round they can probably buy through if both of these guns stay.
But every comeback starts with one round, and for Grayhound, maybe they've done enough. The AWPers on SK getting some uncharacteristic misses this round. In fairness, that one was a little bit more difficult, but still think Fallen or Cold is certainly capable of hitting those. That said though, Grayhound, they're going to come out of this one pretty happy that they've managed to survive 2 encounters with SK's AWPers without losing a player. That's pretty rare. They will hold on to all of their guns. Mold's going to get the upgrade through as well onto an AWP, can throw that one over to Gratisfaction, give him a chance for some impact. On the side of SK, they've still got money to invest with after throwing some guns around. Fallen onto saved AWP. Another one purchased for Cold from Bolts, I believe. And they do get a pretty decent buy out of this in the end, but as mentioned, Grayhound survived with 5, and Grat's going for a cheeky wall bang. I love it. 149 is the timing, and he's not quite going to hit it.
Yeah, if he would have done it at 140 or 150, I suppose, he might have been able to hit that head.
But 149 is the standard timing for the average spawn. Obviously, the mid player, who is it? I think it was, actually no, I think it was Fallen early and he's rotated off. But the mid player obviously had a slightly better than average spawn that lets him get away with it. But doesn't matter too much. We're still a few rounds behind for Grayhound, and Cold is looking over a smoke for an AWP pick.
Yeah, this could be dangerous for Grayhound if Cold is in this position for much longer, but he's stuck between the mollies. It's going to be fine though. He's got a little bit of an island of safety there. Malta has dispatched of Stewie. Cold is still in the smoke, and no one has dispatched of him just yet. He's dropped very low, and in the end, Malta will find him. That could have been so dangerous indeed for Grayhound. Now they've gotten their way into the B bomb side, and an off angle here for Dexter. Fallen not expecting it, not checking it. Looks like Grayhound will be able to run away with another round here. Retake is far from the lines of Fur and Bolts right now. In fact, Bolts is just fighting to survive. In the end, Fur, if he can come through the back here, might be able to deny some saves from Grayhound.
Extended 1v1 that Dexter cannot win, but Grat hits a shot through the smoke, of course. Just Grat things. Yeah. And that leaves Fur all alone, 1v4 saving.
Saving in the direction of Fur. If they continue on here further out, which they don't really need to do, but if they do, Fur might be able to find a couple of kills, or he could just get dropped, but looks like he's going to get 2 kills. That might be the AWP dropped here. Oh yes, this is going to be the AWP dropped. Sorry, Gratisfaction. There's not much you can do about that one, buddy.
At least they have the cash to be able to rebuy it. So
yeah, but every little bit counts.
Exactly, of course. But at this point, if you're Greyhound, you've got to be happy that you took the win away. When you're up against SK, every little victory counts. And while there's still a fair way to go for them to come back into Cache.
Well, to be fair, at this point, if you're Greyhound, you pretty much need to be winning every round out anyway.
Well, exactly
so your economy is maybe not the biggest of concerns.
Team flash off the start, good to see. Obviously, someone just dumping a flash to buy something else. Maybe Dick or Malta wanting a different grenade there. Okay, so they wanted the double HE. Someone dropped the flash to make that happen, but wow, despite that spam being almost perfectly on point, it's not quite going to find the damage that SK needed. And that allows Fur to actually get up on the lamp boost here. This is a bit of a different one.
Yeah, it's a cheeky angle. It's not very common either. So
no,
this is not something that you and this is the round that you want to pull it out in, really. Fur's got an M4. There's nothing really to back it up. It's all going to be off the back of Fur getting a big individual play here. And this is exactly the position that you can get it done from.
It's a very rare flash that hits this angle as well.
Oh, well, Malta's on board.
What?
Goodbye, Fur.
That must be a read.
Yeah, a little bit disappointing, really, for SK. Would have loved to have gotten a little bit more out of that one, but that Molly is going to force Bolts back. He's done a good job, at least to get Malta. In the end, it likely won't be enough here as SK Gaming... Oh, Bolt's got a kill through the flashbang. Urcast not happy about that. Still, though, Fallen 1 versus 3 with the scout. Let's see if he can bring back some magic, bring back that form of old. He has spotted out the first player, doesn't know there's one at quad, and also doesn't know there's one in main. So another one goes the way of Grayhound, up to 8. A buy to come through here though from SK.
Now we'll see how they choose to approach it. They've tried the Shroud boost and variations on it now 2 or 3 times, and it's been pre-fired every single time. So they can't do that anymore. And for Grayhound, they've got to feel like they have a reasonable handle on the way that SK are playing this at the moment. They are managing to find these picks, but of course, both teams, as we mentioned at the start of this, will be constantly iterating. Grayhound in particular do not want to be red at any point. And now there's mid-aggression coming out from SK. That's a bit different. And Grat has someone very, very close. It's Fur, who's being baited by Fallen. Looking for the boost as well. Grayhound, though, with that smoke down, choose not to take the risky play of going mid. And is Fur? Okay, I thought he was going to walk through the smoke. That'd be gutsy, but he chooses not to do it. They're watching for the boost. And Grayhound, 30 seconds gone. Just going to spread out, see if SK want to give them anything.
Well, I'm quite sure at the moment that SK don't want to give a single inch over to Grayhound. As we saw on Mirage, if you do give Grayhound a little bit to work with, they might just run away with a bit more than you might have anticipated. So for SK, the aim of the game here is to close things out 16-8. They just want to get this gun round done and dusted and get onto map 3 as quickly as possible. But quite a strange defensive setup from SK. They've got a lot of players in mid. There goes a smoke into short. SK's not going to be able to really retake this A bomb site too easily. And Dixtacy drops Fallen. Bomb is going to go down quite easily here for Dexter. Bolts is just stuck in short by the sheer weight of utility. Another flash, another smoke. Every single time he looks into the A site, he's being pushed back. And it's SK to try a 4 versus 5 retake. Or perhaps they just decide to back off and save. They know they can't get a buy through next round. It's not a bad choice for SK, but it's got to be a little bit of a bitter taste in their mouth.
Well, that round, SK were trying to play mid-control, which means they play retake on A, because obviously whenever you play a mid-heavy setup, you've got to pull players from somewhere. So if you play heavy mid, you either retake A or retake B, and retaking B sucks, so normally retake A is the way to go, but they lose that first pick so quickly that they barely even get a chance to go for that retake. They fall out, save their guns. And that's a really good read from Grayhound that there was going to be that retake A mid-heavy stack from SK. They get straight in without losing a gun. SK, though, they save with 4. Fallen will be able to get dropped something or other, if I'm asked by the looks, so they will get a second chance at that round.
Wonder if they're going to upgrade their head armor here. Oh, actually, never mind.
Urcast
has dropped that Mac 10, so could have been a little bit of an interesting dynamic, but not the case. SK, though, the answer is they don't upgrade their head armor, which in this case is a good choice. Ooh, well, that would have been Gratisfaction's wallbang. Not the kill, but some early damage. Can't complain.
Exactly. That's the new wallbang after bodies got nerfed to do like 9 damage if you hit the head or something, which is ridiculous because people were hitting it far too much. But that one is nearly as consistent, I think, if you can find the timing on it. But either way, it's not a headshot. It is a tag on defer, though, and every little bit helps. Grayhound are looking to set up for A here. Got a bit of utility. And they're not playing a default, really. They're not spread out over the rest of the map. So if SK were wanting to push for info, what they would find is the Grayhound are nowhere except where they intend to go. But they're not doing that, which will give Grayhound the time to get this execute out freely.
Yeah, Fur up on the catwalk, though. He will drop Malta. The flash into A main as well. Allows him to get the kill onto Urcast, but Bolts is burning alive right now on the corner. Grayhound have lost an extra player. Dixtacy pegs it back. 3 versus 3. Grayhound will have time to work with, and Bolts has been taken down. It's another trade. Bomb has not yet crossed into the site, but there is a smoke available there for Gratisfaction, and very greedily he's planting it open. Will not be punished for it.
The smoke was there to cover him, but the retake is coming very, very quick. Stewie's already in and found the kill.
Dixtacy's going to get a free one, though, to trade it out. Stewie had no idea that he's by quad, but now it is in the favor of coldzera. As Dixtacy, he has no idea where coldzera is coming from, but Cold knows exactly where Dixtacy is. Now the information, though, is given. Let's see if Dixtacy can take it up against one of the world's best in the 1v1. coldzera just progressing slowly on forward, and he spots the shadow, but Dixtacy can't land the shot. SK Gaming, they'll come away with another one and put themselves up to 14.
Good effort by Dixtacy, but he couldn't wait and couldn't quite waste enough time. Imagine being in a 1v1 against coldzera, though. That's a very intimidating situation.
Yeah.
He nearly had it, nearly found it, but not quite.
I thought the shadow might be the undoing there for coldzera, but in the end, it's just a little bit too good for Dixtacy.
But that does now, I believe, allow SK on to 14.
does.
So Grayhound need 5 straight to tie it up, 7 straight for the win.
It was a very, very close round, though, for SK. And means their money's very low.
Doesn't matter when they're on 14, though, because if you win this, you're on 15. Doesn't matter what your money's like. You've officially done enough
But if they lose,
buy the time that you need.
If they lose, it allows Grayhound a couple more easy steps back into this potential comeback.
Does indeed.
They've been doing well so far on the T side. They've been putting a lot of pressure onto SK Gaming, but is that round going to be the straw that breaks the camel's back here for Grayhound, or I should say the dog's back, I suppose, in this scenario? But realistically, is that the one that is going to shift SK Gaming now into the next gear and allow them to close the map out?
That I'm not sure of. They do have 2 players over on the A-bomb site now, which is a bit different to what they've been doing. SK, though, with their 2 players on B, they haven't really been tested. Hasn't been Grayhound presence over there for quite a while. There is Dexter over there on a bit of a cheeky lurk this round. Malta, though, has spotted out Fur trying to get aggressive into A main.
That's the information play out for SK, and it has actually worked a couple of times, the pop flash into main. This time Malta ready and waiting. He's going to punish SK for it. So Grayhound, they're thinking about how this match is playing out, and they're starting to adapt on their T side. For SK Gaming, it is a little bit of a worry now coming into this round 4 versus 5, but not a lot of time for Grayhound to play with here, and they don't really have a lot of map control. Looks like they're headed over towards the B bomb site, but they haven't forced anyone to rotate off B. Fallen's going to get rid of Dick Stacey and just fall back to safety. Now there's Grayhound players milling around in the middle of nowhere, but Gratisfaction still does manage to hit the shot onto Fallen. But they need to get into this B site. Gratisfaction, he hits the shot. Cold Zero goes down. It's just the one player left on the B bomb site right now. Surely it's Stewie, and indeed it is. He's had some great rounds for SK Gaming, but he needs another one, and he can't get that done. Grayhound will get the bomb down here on the B bomb site, and Bolt in a 1 versus 4. As much as you'd love to say he's got a chance here for SK Gaming, the truth is Grayhound should not be dropping this one, and this should be resetting SK Gaming. Grayhound, they're hanging on again. It's similar to what SK Gaming was doing on Mirage. It's still anyone's game here, Tim.
That is a crucial round win for Grayhound. They're pulling these rounds out of nowhere. It feels like they're just coming down to a few crucial aim duels they managed to win, like getting the kill onto Fallen there for Gratisfaction takes away the mid control. Even as Fallen was jiggle peeking for info, he was ready to straight pre-fire the player in front of him, but Grat comes through with the save. The tag and the spam come through. Excellent coordination to get rid of cold out events, and from there, Stewie couldn't quite do enough. So the reset is here for SK Gaming. This is incredibly stressful for them. While they are 4 rounds up, they're down a map. And for the Grayhound guys, this needs to be a clean, slow round for them. Just chill out, see where they're pushing, find the frags.
Should be a double eco out here for SK Gaming as well. So as long as Grayhound can negotiate this one, they should be able to get themselves up to 12-14, which is much less scary than 10-14. But even still, Grayhound have an uphill battle if they want to close out on Keish here. And to be honest, Tim, I didn't think it was even going to be this close on Keish. I thought that Grayhound was going to drop it something like 16-8, 16-6 even. SK Gaming should, in theory, have actually been able to get rid of Grayhound pretty easily on this one, but maybe there's something about Keish that I don't know for Grayhound. Not to say that they're bad at it, but it definitely isn't one of their go-to maps. Overpass, however, is. So that could be problematic if SK Gaming do end up closing this one out and get onto that 3rd and final map. Grayhound might even feel a little bit more comfortable coming into the 3rd map than they have coming into the 2nd.
Yeah, I mean, that's really the thing for them. At this point, even if they can't get the win off at least, they're getting themselves a bit of momentum happening, you know, a few rounds, a bit of comfort on SK's map pick. Even if they lose it, they'll feel pretty decent going into Overpass. And the win is not off the cards yet. Now, that is a push that Malta's done a few rounds in a row now, and this time they shut it down, so that's a good read. Okay, this is a bit dangerous. Now Stewie has a gun. Yeah,
20 seconds here as well for Grayhound to work with. That's an important kill for Dexter, but he's going to be traded out by Cold Zera.
No.
And Grayhound, they might have let themselves slip a little bit here. The timing is not working out for them. SK Gaming, they've snuck away with one. That is not a round that Grayhound should have lost if they wanted to make this one come back into their favor. And SK now up to 15.
And see, this is where Grayhound have been a little bit stagnant here. They've been relying on getting that push through mid for Malta to help them flank into B. And they have been very slow as well. But they've sent Malta through there a few times now. They try and do it again. He gets traded with 20 seconds left. In a situation like that, if you have 40 seconds on a T side, you can go slowly and clear angles. If you have 15, you're running in and you're hoping to hell they're not sitting in the angles that you don't look at. That's the only option.
Dexter has taken the AWP out here. Must have had a spawn for the B line. but he's going to decide to throw that one back over to Gratisfaction. Hasn't managed to get anything done with that, and Gratisfaction certainly will, as Fur does get dropped. So Grayhound are not out of this one just yet. It's 4 versus 5. They've been generally pretty good at closing out the rounds that they do get the opening pick in. Same can be said for SK as well, as that is, I guess, the general rule of Counter-Strike, really. Numbers, very important.
But for Grayhound here, need to be careful to mitigate this aggression. Bolts has been flashed into A main, he's cleared it out. That Molotov will keep it clear as well. Big Stacy, bit of an overcommitment there, but in the meantime, the mid take is on and Fallen is super low, spam through the smoke.
Yeah, Malta making his way up short here, just checking behind him in Z-Connect to see if anyone's coming out from there, but obviously it's smoked off right now by Grayhound, and Malta could definitely open this round up very wide for Grayhound if he can get a pick here, and indeed he will be able to, maybe even 2 on the cards, not quite, but Urcast is able to trade him out, and that's almost as good. 2 players left here for SK Gaming, and this time Grayhound giving themselves more time to work with, more time to trade, more time to check those angles, and the bomb will go down.
The trades are really, really good as well. That's exactly how you want to be trading. Like, kill the guy who killed your teammate as he's still shooting, before he even gets the chance to look at you. That's much better coordination from the Grayhound guys here. Leaves it all on Stewie, who this time surely won't go for the miracle clutch. We saw a few good 1v1s, 1v2s out of him last half, but this one with the bomb just about half ticked, I think is a little bit too much for him, so he should be backing off to save. 3 guns will be kept alive by Grayhound here. It's very important for them. They are still at 11 to 15, so while they get another round, they need 4 just to make it to overtime, a further 4 to win.
It's another reset though for SK, and while Stewie's going to maybe be able to save the 7-4 through, it means that the rest of them aren't going to be able to buy. So it should be another one there for Grayhound that is favourable for them to close out. They have lost one though to those anti-ecos, to the anti-force buy really, but it makes the job a little bit easier in this attempted 15-15 mission for them.
Still a few rounds needed for them though, and right now, this is their pause, give them some time to get the coach involved, have a chat about what he's seeing that they are not. That's always the advantage of having the 6th guy behind you, is that he can see all of your screens, he can hear your comms. It's got a bit of a detached POV to see what you might not be able to. So very possible at this point he's just talking about what went wrong in their last anti-eco, whether it was that Malta went too far by himself, because he has been making a lot of solo plays on this T side, whether he's been up highway by himself, through Z by himself. There's been a lot of like individualism from him. So maybe the change is, hey Malta, let's just all stay together. It's not something he's doing wrong, but SK is starting to counter it, so it's a potential hole that should be patched up. Or, I don't know, it is a gun round up against a force buy here, so it's a decent buy for SK. They get 2 rifles and a scout out of it with the 2 pistols as well. Certainly very dangerous here, so Grayhound have to be careful.
Yeah, Grayhound cannot be resting on their laurels here. Neither can SK though. This map is not over just yet. It's very close to it, but who knows what Grayhound has up their sleeve still here.
This is this individual play from Molotov I was talking about. He's up highway alone, and this time Fallen says no.
He just gets absolutely slammed there. That's not fun for Grayhound at all. That'll be an AK into short. No one from SK looks like they want to retrieve it just yet.
That is the read from SK though. They've noticed that Malta likes to make these individual plays, like I was just highlighting, up through mid. And they've shut him down a few rounds in a row now, so for Grayhound, if they get a second chance here, maybe that's something that they do want to talk about. But first, they've got to navigate a 4 versus 5 while they do have the better guns. SK have the positioning, and the clock is already quite ticked, approaching a minute of the round gone. With Fur holding this very close angle, it's got to be a flash or a molly, or else he's going to go 1 for 1, and then they're in a terrible position.
Well, Fallen has sort of been smoked off there by Grayhound. Fur close by the smoke. This could be dangerous again for Grayhound. They're not leaving themselves too much time, especially if they wait for this smoke to disappear. Dick Stacy, he's having a look, and he has spotted out Fur, so that is good for Grayhound. Does make things a little bit of a steadier ship, I will say. But still a lot of players up here for SK Gaming already on the A bomb site. Grayhound are needing to hit some good entries. The time is ticking away for them, but it's go time. And Stewie hits a great shot with the AK that was retrieved on short, but he's traded out. 10 seconds now. Grayhound, they need to check quad, have they? Dexter, he has to get the dirty work done himself, but he's just managed to get that bomb down in time. No, he's faked it. And Cold Zero, does he know? Yes, he surely does. Dexter, oh, he gets timed out of the round. And SK Gaming, they come away with a 16-11 victory. That's got to hurt for Grayhound, really.
That was so close, though. Like, that 1v1 was so nearly a thing. It's a big testament to Cold's experience and caliber of a player that he doesn't peak that. In a 1v1 for match point, he says, all right, I'm happy to let him plant the bomb. I will play the post-plant 1v1. And unfortunately for Dexter, it won't work. Come on, Dick, not on stream, mate.
Yeah, jeez, put your clothes on.
That was a very near thing. It was almost there for Grayhound, but I think the takeaway for them is that at least they got something done. They'll be feeling okay going into Overpass. And for SK, that round, or that game, was not as close as Greyhound's win over them was. So I think there's things to take out of this for both teams, but SK at least will be happy they're back into winning ways.
Yeah, absolutely. That's an important, really, a very important win for SK. Otherwise, they would have been out of this tournament. Now, it's on the precipice for both of these two teams. Next map, it might as well be a best of one for both of these two teams to either stay in IEM Sydney or get knocked out of IEM Sydney.
And we know what can happen in best of ones, Jordan.
Well, yeah.
Everything.
Yeah, exactly. Overpass, it's a map that we've seen success on for both of these two teams, but who knows where this series is going, really. I'm quite astounded that we're even at this point. I've got to say, I mean, Grayhound, they had their moments there on Cache as well. What happens if they don't end up losing to that force buy? I'm not going to necessarily say I think they would have won the map. I still think
like
SK comes away.
But it would have prolonged the inevitable.
Yeah, possibly. But in the end, we're not seeing a huge amount of mistakes out from Grayhound, you know what I mean? Like, they're not throwing these matches away. It's definitely SK having to work for this match.
Yeah, exactly. It's not clear dominance at all. At any way, it's SK have been fighting for every single round. So I don't know. This one is very open up in the air now. I mean, coming into this, we would, of course, say that SK is favored. Now they've won their own map pick, so at least they don't get shut out 2-0. But that's the first map they've won so far at IEM. And I think this third one is anyone's game.
I think I just got told Renegades beat FaZe.
Yep. Hold on.
Oh, 19-19. Let's not get too far ahead of ourselves.
I was going to say, I'm taking HLTV right now.
It's in double OT.
Double OT, Renegades and FaZe.
But that's a huge
Hometown
match
buff,
in itself.
boys.
If you want to watch that one, by the way, jump over to the main stream. It's going on right now. We're going to have a bit of a break here shortly. So that might be a good time to just check out how the rest of that match is going. I'm sure most of you guys are probably watching both of those games anyway. That's what I would be doing if I was at home, Tim.
Oh, absolutely. But now we're here and we get to watch these games and talk about them even better.
Yeah, it's very, very good for both of us. But for now, like I said, we are going to head to a quick break. The culmination of this series, though, is going to be coming up very, very shortly. One map to go here for both SK Gaming and Grayhound. One stays in IEM Sydney, one is out. We'll find out who it is after the break.